Welcome back, everybody, to our podcast. This is going to be another great episode. Daniela, she has a business. She's the owner of London Collective. Good afternoon, Daniela. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing awesome. Thanks for asking. So the whole point of this, listeners, this podcast is allows us to go behind the scenes to experience valuable information as a go-to resource to learn about businesses that shape our communities and discover how to make the most of their services. And if you enjoy this content and want to hear more, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and also feel free to comment on the video itself so we can bring you more of this in the future.
So, again, my name is Daniela Londono. I'm a nurse practitioner and started essentially in the medical field in 2010. So, it's been a long time. And
That it has.
yeah, it's been a long time. And I dove into working into a specialty, which was orthopedic specialty. And I was there for like 5 years. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do in the long run and ended up falling in love with being a registered nurse. And the reason being was because I like to specialize in different things, and having that opportunity to do that in nursing where you can pick where you want to work and not just pick one specialty essentially. And then after that, I worked at the hospital, actually in a small town called Plant City here in closer to Tampa area. And from there, I grew as an went to school, became a nurse practitioner, and was in gastroenterology, another different specialty, for another 5 years, and loved it. And then after that, I worked in aesthetics and now working in a cancer institute as well. So being able to work more in the research side as well. So I became a doctor of nursing practice. And that's where it kind of shaped me as a whole in this nursing career. And now I'm here at London Collective.
Well, isn't it amazing though? You know, all the experiences, if you look back, right, based on all your experiences, all the different experiences in the medical industry, and now all of a sudden it brings you to aesthetics, right?
Yes, it does.
And congratulations on that, because I'm sure there was so many different opportunities to go in this direction and in this
Right.
direction, and then you just stuck with, finding your home with wellness and beauty. So what I'd like to talk about is, if you're okay with this, what is Botox and derma fillers and skin better, skin care? Because I'm looking at your website, and
Yeah.
it says we offer a variety of treatments to
Mhm.
promote overall well-being and enhance your natural beauty.
Yes.
Is that something that is more prevalent, that your patients are looking to want?
Yeah, I think that there's half and half. I feel like a lot of people know about Botox. Obviously, there's different brands of Botox, and I think that in the community, especially because I see a lot of Spanish people, so I'm Hispanic, so there is some sort of still a stigma on these types of treatments. They think that they're going to look overdone, and that's where the natural beauty comes into play. Where I love natural things, right? So if we're going to add something like fillers, which add volume to a certain area, let's say we're adding volume to your lips, I like to promote something that is natural looking. I don't like the overdone look. And I think that that is one of the things where here in practice is wanting for people to look look themselves, but still look natural and then more beautiful in a sense.
I like that word, natural.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that a number of times during
Yeah,
when you were just speaking.
yeah,
So natural, meaning that you don't want to take away from the beauty of the face itself, but you just
right.
want to enhance it, correct?
That is correct. That's exactly right.
It's kind of interesting how everybody gets into their own field, and doing wellness, and then what is it, IV infusion? Can you
IV therapy, IV infusions. Mm-hmm.
can you elaborate a little bit on that as well?
Yeah, so actually, that's how I started. I started by doing IV infusions, and one lady that I knew is a friend of mine. She told me that she had someone else come to her home and do an IV therapy. She didn't exactly know which one they gave her, but she knew that it had helped her because it had different vitamins. And at that time, she said, this lady's no longer here, and you seem like you have so much experience. Is it something that you could do for us? And that's truly where I started. I started by doing mobile IV therapy, and did my education. I got certified, and found out that there's demand here, and learning obviously what to mix and what people are looking for. For example, there's different, I call it cocktails or IV therapy options. Like there's an immunity drip that helps boost your immunity. There's other drips that are more anti-inflammatory that help people reduce their inflammation in their body or detoxify the body. We use glutathione, which is a powerful antioxidant, and it helps just detoxify the body. And in practice, I've seen that a lot of people's energy has increased, or they feel like they haven't gotten sick for a while. And so I found that it is really helpful for patients.
That's it. That's interesting. So there, IV therapy, there's so many benefits to using it, right, for your customers, like you just explained. Another thing I was looking at your website was called hormone replacement therapy, I believe.
Yes.
Can you expand a little bit and let our listeners know a couple things? How do they know if they would need to have hormone replacement therapy? And then what is it? How do they know? What do they need to look for, to be able to call a professional like you to help them?
Yeah, so with hormone replacement therapy, most people start noticing, and the first thing that we think about, and we'll talk about women, we start to have, most common symptom is hot flashes. And so when women become menopausal, they'll have certain symptoms that pop up, and it's fatigue, low energy. They have mood swings, just forgetfulness, having that brain fog, or skin changes, just more dryness or loss of libido. Those are things or questions that we start to ask ourselves when we become menopausal or premenopausal. And so hormone replacement therapy comes into play when patients come in and they start telling me their symptoms, and we get to the root of everything by doing blood work. We do a whole essentially hormone panel to take a look at their hormones, and we do need obviously their history and all their information before we tailor their specific need. If they're truly menopausal, they need certain hormones. If they're premenopausal, they need other hormones based on a component of their labs, but also more of their symptoms. We're trying to optimize them. So hormone replacement. I feel like it's something that is evolving, and it's needed in our communities. And we don't know, as far as patients, we don't know too much about it.
And this is what this is all about, right? To educate,
right,
and to bring to your patients or people who are listening, let them know what this is, what these type of services are involved and what they're all about. Now, speaking of that, there was do you have a story of a patient that you could share? Now, don't mention the names. I always say this, but a story of something, of a patient that was so inspired by your services. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, I do. I have a patient, although she already knew she needed hormone therapy, though, but she came in and she told me all her symptoms, and it was essentially all of the above. She was essentially miserable, and she said that she felt like it was impacting her partner too, and her relationship in a way, just because of how she felt. And she for a living, she gives talks, and she felt like her brain fog was affecting her personal life and her professional life as well.
Interesting.
And so we decided to start on the hormone replacement therapy, and her life just completely changed. And she has been the biggest advocate for like my Spanish people, because she tells her story and she says, people need to know that you are doing this, and people need to know that you can actually help them feel better. And one of the things that was, I would say, kind of funny in a way, was because she was like, you're young, and I had some doubt in the sense that you're young and you're not menopausal. How is someone young going to treat me since I'm not menopausal?
Right.
And so she still put that trust in me and knew that I was knowledgeable and had the education, I have the expertise, and she just put the trust. And when she came back and we started her hormone journey, she felt amazing. Professionally, she feels great. And she says, my husband is so happy. Her husband's coming to see me as well for his symptoms. So it's such a beautiful story, because I feel like I can help people, even though I'm not menopausal, right? But I do have hormone imbalances that I can say, I know what I know to a certain extent on the things that you feel, and I know I can help you. And so that was just a beautiful time to see her. And she's brought so many people and friends that have gotten to know me. And it's been such a wonderful thing to bring in.
I can tell you're so passionate. And, usually when I ask that question, Daniela, I always follow up with how does that make you feel? And you've already answered it. It made me feel good because of this, because of that. And she trusted me, and it was and now she's bringing people, her friends, to see me and her husband. And so, kudos to you for that. That is so exciting to hear successful stories like this, especially as a business owner. So with that being said, let's go in as we wrap up. Could you provide our listeners a way to get a hold of you, like your phone number as well as your website?
Yes, of course. So you can reach me at 813-954-2220. And also our website is www.london-collective.com.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
You're very welcome to be able to share your business, your services, your success stories, with our listeners. And we hopefully have you back in the near future as well.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to First Media Consulting Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe today. To nominate a business you would like to recommend to be on our show, go to firstmediaconsulting.com or call. Thank you for listening.